Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Lotusthesage. I'm Lotus. I'm so glad that you're here joining me. Today we're going to go into a little bit of a, not so pleasant read, but hopefully for clarity. So the reading today is going to be clarity on why something in your life didn't work out or why it failed. Whichever way you want to look at that scenario. So I've pre-selected some guidance cards for each group, and then we'll go into the tarot. So for our first group over here, we have this deck, the Intuitive Goddess Tarot. We have the Fountain Tarot for Pal 2. And the Wild Unknown Tarot for Pal 3. So you can pick a deck, and we'll get into why something didn't work out for you. All right, my collective, I'll see you at your decks. Welcome, my Pal 1. Let's get into it, my Intuitive Goddess Tarot deck. So, we're doing something a little bit different, or I'm using a deck that is technically a part of a game. It's called Dark Stories. And not every card is going to be applicable, just a heads up, and they are fairly dark. They're actually about particular crimes over history that happened, and they just picked a few of them. So we're going to see how this may relate to what may not have worked out for you or what it might echo to. So we have Blessing in Disguise. A man suffered unspeakable pain and was later grateful for it. So it feels like my collective of Pile 1, that there has been something that obviously has occurred, since this is what this reading is about, that has left you feeling mentally anguished, frustrated, doubting yourself. I'm hearing a lot of, fuck, why did I do that? Why did I do that? It's like that's the energy that I'm getting, especially from this depiction on this card. It almost it feels like a karmic retribution is what I'm getting. It's almost like you had to sort of go through this particular blessing in disguise, so to speak, for you to come to terms with the strength that you have, and also to pay a karmic debt is what I'm hearing from your past. That could be past life or just in your past current life. This particular karma that you went through, because you went through this karma gracefully and didn't sort of, get mad at the fact that this shit was happening. It's sort of just like, fuck, I just need to deal with this, not to say that you were happy about it, just, I need to deal with this. I need to get through this. I need to deal with it. And because you did that, you took one foot in front of the other and you continue to keep moving. It feels like this deterioration or this crumbling of this particular scenario is going to be the blessing. It is showing you your strength is what I'm getting the most. It's about your strength of character, your self-worth, your strength of will, what you truly value, your boundaries, and how you love. Okay, this is probably going to be a pretty in-depth reading, my folks. My friends, so folks, grab some tea or something else. Okay, let's see some archetypes. Henry the 8th. Act like a gentleman and you will feel like a king. A rose has thorns. Cultivate kinder flowers. Loving a great deal means sacrificing a great number. And that's what that feels like. This is the sacrifice that you have endured. This is a suffering. It's that loving, like I said, how you love. And that you being able to give of love. I'm not going to use the depiction, the full archetype of Henry VIII. But the way that you've chosen to give love, show love, appreciation to things, attention to things, compassion and consideration to things, it's almost like the people around you is what I'm getting, if you can see in this picture with him here. The people around him. It's like there's what I'm getting energetically for them to, metaphorically based on what I'm getting, what I am getting from this depiction on a metaphorical sense is the people around you have not been as reciprocal or as forthcoming with their emotions, their time, their energy, whatever the case is. In whatever area of your life that something has failed or didn't work out, it was an imbalance of time, energy, and effort, period, and of love. And so that sacrifice of yourself was too much, is what I'm hearing. It was too much. You gave too much, and you weren't getting filled back. And you were wondering or feeling like, what am I doing wrong? Or frustrated about you not receiving, so therefore it sort of gave you the false perception of you needing to give more, which made you feel even worse. And then eventually these people sort of they vanish, right? Once they've gotten what they needed from you, so to speak, whether that's energetically, monetarily, time, energy, doesn't really matter. When they've gotten what they needed, they sort of just disappear, and you're sort of left to your own devices and your own thoughts. Just frustrated with like, what the fuck, did I do this again? Did I just like give away all of my energy and I'm still like have no friends or have no lover, or this is not like I feel alone or just incompatible with the people in my life? Yeah, I feel like there's might have been a lot of like false friends is what I'm hearing. Yeah, those frenemies, I guess, is what they call them, right? A lot of frenemies is what I'm hearing. Two-faced people who, again, were just there to get something from you in a sense, whatever way that was, or whatever way that is or was for you. Okay, archetypes. The healer. Light attributes: passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. Shadow attributes: taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. And that's what that is, that empathetic nature of wanting to heal and be the giver, but then not being able to have enough for yourself. I don't think you were in the shadow attributes. I think I think the energy around you was in that shadow attributes as you were in this light attribute, which therefore depleted your energy, like we said. Failing to care for yourself, and that caring for yourself was setting that particular boundary with people who are technically sucking your life force in a sense. And they were taking advantage of you in the way of, because of the fact that you were freely giving, and that giving doesn't have a cap, or didn't have a cap for you, so they just continue to keep taking, which left you depleted. And I'm feeling like there is a separation or a fallout or something like that has happened. That's the reason why it hasn't worked out, but this is the reason why it needed to break, because it would have broke you, quite literally. It talks about broken bones on the back, about being confined in a certain space and being lucky enough to, fortunately but unfortunately enough to like sort of zap yourself into something that sort of made you resilient to their attacks or their comments or their blows, metaphorical blows. But then again, it was still depleting you. I just feel like you just withstood it. That's what I'm getting. You just withstood the abuse in a sense. And again, this is not in a drastic sense of abuse. Possibly it can be. Forgive me if it is, but it's just like an abuse of character, an abuse of, the friendship, or taking advantage is the main energy. You were taken advantage of, and it is teaching you to assert your boundaries more clearly, to give and heal when it will be received and appreciated instead of just taken for granted. Okay. Yep. It left you in this sad embrace. Yep, the sad embrace of the self, of feeling, like we said, like just by yourself alone, not understanding why you can't, have people stick around. You feeling that it's your fault, that there's something wrong with you. And because you just want to be and feel loved and have a companion, I can feel it so much now. Like, you just give because you're just wanting to connect, and you're just open and when you're being open, some people are just taking advantage of that openness, not naivety. They just take advantage of your kindness. And that just doesn't leave you satisfied in the end, no matter what. So Spirit is teaching you or reminding you of this is the lesson that you're actually learning, is this sad embrace of how you used to give is no longer necessary for you. You've seen how giving too much keeps you feeling alone. How when you are giving of yourself and wanting to heal somebody, when it's not received and appreciated, it just becomes a depletion of your energy, of your life force. But ultimately, the gift, the blessing in disguise here is your strength, is your ability to see this now before it gets to this point of this sad embrace, of this frustration, of not being able to give back to yourself because you've depleted so much of your energy. It's teaching you your strength, your courage, your conviction, allowing you to see yourself through the eyes of Source. You are so much more powerful than you give yourself credit for. Yep, as I say that. Accomplishment. And that's what you're heading towards. The accomplishment within self, which is the blessing, right? The discovering and the understanding of why things unfolded as they did. Sorry for the light. The accomplishment within the understanding of self, within the dynamics, within the people, within your own energy. It's finding out your emotional responses to things and people who no longer resonate on the frequency in which you want to share. So the reason it didn't work is because Spirit needed you to learn this lesson of give and take, of reciprocity, of balanced connections. And it feels like you fought very hard to give, and you still came out with nothing, so to speak. Meaning that you feel that way, like tangibly nothing, like no friends came with you, no, something big that you could like say or see. It's like something not tangible. What you're accomplishing though is very internal. You're taking that away. You're taking the understanding, the wisdom, the spiritual evolution, the confidence to mend and heal the self, to know when to give and know when to be the observer. It's finding balance within your soul, within your mind, within your heart. Okay, then we have shift the way to new potential. Yep, this is what you're doing. You are shifting it now, right? This is what this accomplishment is bringing in. You're shifting the perspective now because you're integrating all this wisdom and lessons you've learned from this past failure or experience. One step ahead is all you need. And that's it. One step in front of the other, like I said in the very beginning. Taking those steps to move out of this energy of feeling like you were duped in a way, but you were not. It was a part of the lesson, a part of your growth, a part of you trying to understand, integrate, incorporate, and now transmute that energy into something that is adding to your arsenal of skills and abilities. A lot of green heart healing energies. Number 9 could be significant. A lot of change is happening in your life. Spiritual change too, spiritual growth. And we have the outlaw. Oopsies. Sorry. The outlaw. You know that rebel? I'm hearing you're the pioneer of your own soul, so forge your own path. You don't need to be the follower. You don't need to have a... it's not even about that. I know that you don't need it, but Spirit is saying that the way that you're putting, or the way that you may have been putting emphasis on connections of these kind, I'm feeling like a really big, like, more friend dynamic. If I'm honest, it feels like a friend, a really close friend, best friends, group of friends, that kind of thing, like a clique of some kind. I feel like you've been compliant, complacent, follower, not necessarily in a bad sense or in a negative sense of the word. It's just, you know, you're not the, you don't need to be the alpha in the room, and they're not asking you to be, but they are asking you to stay and be your own crazy freak that you are, to be that outlaw, to be that rebel, to, like I said, forge your own path, to make your own footsteps, to implement your own footsteps towards wherever it is you're going, right? One step ahead is all you need. Allowing your outlaw spirit, your rebellious nature, your free spirit, and your, again, back to this worthiness and confidence to come shining out. The outlaw spirit in you wants to be born, emerged, burst out, shift the way to a new potential. That is you. This is what this has done for you, and it's doing for you. It is shifting you into a badass. That's what I'm getting. Amazing. Okay, we're going to look at these guys at the end. Let's get into your tarot. I think I want one more. Nice, 3 more came out, and so it is. I don't think you can see those, hey? Okay, we have 9 of Wands in reverse, 9 of Wands in reverse, Page of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, Eight of Wands, Five of Cups, and the Warrior of Cups. The Warrior is the Knight, just so you know. So what I'm getting here is, as to why, clarity on why this didn't work out, you were done fighting for, like, crumbs almost. It's almost like, all I want is just a little bit of reciprocity. Like, that's all I want. I'm not asking for a big grand gesture in the way that I'm speaking as you, in the way that I would give it, you know? Like, meaning, for example, if there's 4 people hanging out and I decide to buy everybody's meal, like, I don't expect you to do that for me, but call me every once in a while. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you were waiting for the smallest bit of any sort of reciprocity, any sort of, like, genuine care, and I don't think you were getting it. I'm not even thinking. I know you weren't getting it. That's what it's saying here. You were done fighting for it, so you decided to walk away, to leave this situation. And even if it wasn't you, the situation left you. Meaning that that's what Spirit did. It's like they removed the situation very abruptly, very quickly with that Eight of Wands. Which, again, still understandably you feeling like sad a little bit, or a feeling of lack because they couldn't give you the littlest bit, you know? And no gratitude, no perspective of your side, you know? Like, it was just, you know, there was just lackluster is the word. Lackluster when it comes to effort and trying. And then that Knight of Cups, like, you're not even caring about the apology, wanting these people necessarily to come back. It's like, I don't want any of this. Like, I've already done what I needed to do. I've accomplished the task that I needed to accomplish. I've learned what I needed to learn here. I'm learning how to heal myself and trust myself more. Put myself first. No longer giving all of my effort to all of you. That's always leaving me in this place of sadness or feeling of lack. You know, like, no more. I'm going to be that outlaw, that potential within me, I will let it shine, let my freak flag shine, and see this blessing and how strong and beautiful that I am. Amazing. So let us go into your closing messages for your guidance, the answers you seek, okay? Let me be still and listen to the truth. Go and have some fun. Go have some fun. And hold on. Just hold on, we're going home. That's what I just heard. Just hold on. And I think it's just hold on to your convictions. Hold on to what your vision is, what you're feeling, what your goal is, where you want to move to, you know, away from these energies, away from the sad embrace. And this is the stillness, this healer within you, right? No longer waiting. It's just let me be still and listen to the truth. And that stillness has brought you to this clarity, this separation, this fallout has brought you to this clarity. Go have some fun now, knowing that you don't need to put your energies here. You can take a lot of that back and go have a freaking good old time. Give me a shout, I'll come with you. Okay. And then we have challenge, which we already know. Challenge. Yep, this is going to be a challenge. Again, like I said, it's about friendships, right? Friend. Exactly. Challenge, friend, and then beautiful. Love. That's it. It's like what I'm getting here is this whole thing has brought you to realize what it is that you value and want out of your friendships, relationships in general. This challenge, again, is bringing you to this understanding of what you can tolerate and what you cannot. It's about that boundary. And it's also about having people meet you at the top now instead of you going down to meet them, is also what I'm feeling from you. And your new sense of pride and worthiness and accomplishment within self leads you to better connections that are more heartfelt, more heart-based, and exactly what you're looking for, in the same reciprocity and weight in which you give. That's freaking amazing. Okay, my beautiful pile one, I hope that was helpful. I hope Spirit gave you some answers into, or some clarity at least, onto why something didn't work out for you right now. Please let me know. Leave a comment, leave a like. I would love to hear your stories. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, this is Lotus. Ciao. Welcome, my pal 2, my deck 2, my Fountain Tarot. Okay, so the first card that I am pulling out is actually from a game deck I have called Dark Stories. And they are actual real crime events in history. So I'm not going to read the full description on the back, but we'll see how they are maybe relevant to the energies you might be feeling or what might have been going on as to why you're needing clarity on something that didn't work out or that failed. Okay, so keep an open mind. This may or may not resonate for the first card. Dear Uncle Doctor, after a visit to the doctor, several people did not feel any better. So, of course, I am obviously not any sort of medical professional in any sense, but what I'm getting is a treatment didn't work. That's what I'm hearing the first. Like something that either was suggested or highly recommended to you, you had some hesitations about or reservations about, and you may have still went along with the suggested method of treatment, but either you did not have a great side effect, you had severe side effects, or didn't work at all. If this doesn't have to do with anything medical, it can have something to do with just your general well-being. You know, it could be about mental health. It could be about having people to listen and hear out your concerns. It could be, a boss for that matter that's just not hearing the complaints of the company or the employees. It has something to do with that, where there may have been something you tried to address in the most productive and conscious manner, and it just fell through. And it was something that was almost like, I'm getting like something that's supposed to be tried and true, but it didn't work, or isn't working, or hasn't worked, or there was not enough information given, or something along those lines. That's what I'm getting very much of. That's very interesting. This card is actually talking about, they have a show on Dr. Death now. This is who this is referencing. So again, Dr. Death might be somehow significant to you, or some sort of relevance when it comes to malpractice or trial examinations or testing, or something along those lines. It feels very interesting. And again, I just don't want to go with the obvious when it comes to this whole suggested method of getting rid of this chaos that's happening in our society right now. It could have something to do with that, with what's being distributed or mandated. It definitely can have something to do with that, since this is very relevant for our time if you're watching this in real time. Interesting. Okay, let's see the next archetype. Emily Bronte. If you ever looked at me once, with what I know is in you, I would be your slave. Hearts can be broken, but souls should be shared. Love is like the wild rose briar, friendship like the holly tree, but which will bloom most constantly? Interesting. Interesting. I'm getting this feeling of, like I said, a trust in somebody so deeply, but again, there was a doubt and a reservation, and you still went with it. And you were hoping that in good faith, or in good character, or with, harm none, that oath that medical professionals take would have been honored. And I feel like you feel broken by it. You feel like you sort of screwed me up, or you fucked me up, like you should know better, or there's something about this person knowing better, either because of your own medical history, or your own personal past, or their own just expertise. It should have just been handled better. I'm also getting that there could have been like a breach of trust in some way. And I think either that's what may have, this situation may have created, like this really big breach of trust when it comes to either bigger corporations, or the way certain things are dealt or handled on a either a larger scale or on a personal level. Interesting. And the line that keeps being brought to my attention is, hearts can be broken, but souls should be shared. And it's sort of like, yeah, things can, things do get broken, but honesty should be shared. Integrity should be upheld. And then I'm hearing that if you ever looked at me once, with what I know is in you, I would be your slave. And it's almost like I'm at the mercy of your education, of your expertise, of your suggestion almost. And your either their lack of follow through, accountability, or even integrity for that matter, or ethics or morals. Something about that has been, like I said, breached. It breached your trust. You are no longer feeling the same way about this particular scenario as you did prior to this fallout or this disconnect. Vampire in the shadow attribute. I'll show it to you upright. In the shadow attribute, it says, depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. Interesting. I feel like this is how this person was operating. It was almost just like again, the chronic complaining and codependency. And this is with this, I would be your slave. It was almost like you, again, at the mercy of this person's suggestions, suggestions, prescriptions, freaking whatever the case is. And you were hoping for, makes you aware that someone or something is draining you of your life force, knowing that possibly that's something that you may have taken or was suggested for you to do, like we said, a treatment or something like that, was not going to help you. It was just going to drain your life force and make you feel worse. Again, coming back to this, after a visit to the doctor, several people did not feel any better. That's what that is. Makes you aware. That's what you're hoping, that they make you aware that something or someone would be draining this. Like this procedure won't work for you. It may not be a good idea, or let's find something else, you know? Like it was sort of like, no, this is what you got to do. End of discussion. But not that bluntly. It was just sort of like, that's the best thing to do, period. Oh, man. Okay. Education. See, this is twofold for you, my friend. The education is, like I said, you at the mercy of their education, their expertise, and their training. But again, left you fucking feeling shitty. But now it has educated you, like I said, it's breached your trust now to either that get the second or fourth or 12th opinion, you know? It's not about just going to the one anymore, or just trusting in this one particular person, regardless of the history regardless of the history between you and this person or dynamic or situation. You're educating yourself now either about whatever it is, that the treatment, about your ailment, if it's a chronic thing that's been happening for you, your codependency on either the prescriptions, the drugs, the specialists, or whatever. It's like I'm feeling like you're trying now to find an alternative method of healing, of health, of, again, your physical or general well-being. I'm getting this like, okay, I've done all of the traditional Western approach to medicine, to healing, to all this. Now I'm really going to go into what they would say the woo-woo stuff, you know? And that's not really woo-woo. It's just people want to put anything that's natural to the side, you know? It feels like it makes it feel like you're uneducated. It's not the case. It's a more rooted and ancient way of healing that might be slower. It might not be as swift and effective, but nothing really is that needs to get fixed, and it's usually internally to the outward, right? And we usually, in our Western society, end up putting Band-Aids on freaking ailments, not really hitting the root cause of it. And I feel that's what alternative medicine and practices tend to do more successfully. Okay, it's going to lead you to what? Yeah, friendships. Interesting. Great. So maybe there's some friendship dynamics around you that will help you with this, or introduce you, like bringing in some of this education for a new way of healing. You know, you're going now to maybe speak more about whatever it was that was maybe more private between you and this energy here, whatever this doctor stands for you. And I'm also getting about who you trust with certain pieces of information about your life. Yeah, so why it didn't work out was I'm feeling it has most to do with, it has to do with codependency. That's the main thing. And however way that you want to look at that, that could be codependency on, like we said, a particular drug, a prescription. It could be on a particular healer. It could be on anything like that is taking away your actual power from making choices for yourself confidently and independently, critically thinking about the information being given to you, this education, to marinate on it for you to be able to use that more positively moving forward, to gain the insight that you need to combat whatever it is, this chronic ailment or codependency in some way, or this when it comes to your physical or just general well-being. Then we have get back to the elemental. And that's when we're talking about natural medicines or alternative medicines, right? Elementals for me is, you know, your earth. It's the natural, the old way, the ancestral way. You know, it's coming back. I'm feeling very shamanic energy is what I'm getting when it comes to the healing practices. A lot of herbs. I'm getting a lot of teas. I'm getting a lot of like smoke ceremonies is what I'm seeing. So again, exactly what I said, getting away from the Western traditional way of healing, period, and going into the alternative ways of dealing with anything, period. And then we have fierce serenity. Yeah, exactly. It's like the surrender to maybe this particular advisor, let's say, call this person, was like, no, this won't really, this method won't help you enough. It'll just like subdue it, when in all reality it would actually help you more. It'd be much more beneficial for you. And Spirit has asked you to surrender to this, coming back to the elements, fierce serenity. It's just like peace within the body, within the mind, once you come back to the root, like we talked about, the root cause of what's actually ailing you, what's actually making you feel worse than. You're educating yourself on this, and I do think that new friends or new acquaintances or new connections are going to help you to bring this feeling more solid into your being. Yep. Because you are the creator of your own life, your own destiny. You are taking that control back, like we talked about, taking away that codependency for you to stand in your power. To know your strength, to know that there are other methods and ways of healing the soul, the body, the mind. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to leave these for the end for your guidance, and we're going to go into your tarot right now. Okay, first one out is the Sun. Beautiful. Six of Coins. Three of Swords. Eight of Swords in reverse. The Empress. Beautiful. And the Hermit in reverse. I'm getting the sense of like feeling really optimistic going into this particular, going towards this advisor. I feel like originally or initially felt really balanced, secure in their support or their choices. But again, like I said, there was doubt. There was a definite doubt that you did not honor. That's all I'm going to say. And which led to this heartbreak, which led to this pain, this feeling of, again, not feeling good, unsatisfied, feeling sort of blindsided in a way, because you didn't speak up or didn't say anything or whatever the case is. But now, no longer in your head about the doubt. You've seen clarity that is stepping into your own power, coming back to this elemental energy. Again, no longer seeking within this no longer needing to seek anything else. Now it's like now. It's like I'm coming out of this hibernation in self, or again, back out of this codependency that I was relying on somebody or something else to really find the solution for me. Even though that was justified, of course, we want to use that expertise of somebody who has been studying a certain particular thing that you need help with, of course. But there was too much of a reliance on that, and you had forgotten your autonomy. You had forgotten the actual power and strength that you have to heal yourself also. And you were giving too much of that away and relying on them to actually do the healing for you, in a sense, like metaphorically in a sense. So why it didn't work out is for you, again, to gain that strength, to know that you can heal yourself. Obviously, with the help of the right information, with the right intentions, with the right morality, the right ethics. And with a soul, as they said, hearts can be broken, but souls should be shared. Something that is equal and feels confidently supported, or feels strongly supported. Okay. I think Spirit is making sure also that to remind you that you are this Empress, right? You have this ability to nurture the self, That is what that Empress is. Get back to the elementals. Fierce serenity. Fiercely surrender to this new way. To this old way, I should say, of healing, of being, of connecting with the self, with the body. Okay, let's see your closing off advice. Speaking of surrender, first one out, of course. In the summer. That's interesting. I'm feeling that in the summer they're just bringing me to the sun. So I feel like there might be like, you'll see some progress in whatever this thing was that didn't work out for you. Whatever natural remedies or alternative methods that you find, I think you're going to really start to see the benefits of them truly fully in the summer. So surrender now to this new education, to this new way of being, and to these new connections and friendships. And alone time is needed, which again sort of makes sense for you to be able to surrender this, right? Surrender the anger and surrender it's just surrender the anger and the disappointment, so that you can find this energy and these people can come in for you. It's just about you, again, fierce serenity, right? It's just trying to allow yourself to find that peace, that sense of peace within the self, and within whatever has happened, to let go of the resentment that is probably still lingering from this experience. And I think that's the reason why they're asking for a little bit of alone time, just to sort of gather yourself up again, to allow yourself to surrender, so that this new influx of positive, healthy energy is coming into your life in the warmer months. Yep. As I was talking about that earlier, right? There was this doubt, and that's where you were. And they're asking you to surrender that doubt. The secrets, oh my goodness. And that's what I felt with this particular advisor, right? Just something wasn't given, or you should know better, the education, there's something about it. But, and in the revealing of those secrets, or like again, the information, how it didn't end up working out, you're now being like, I need to trust my instincts more. I cannot rely on me not saying something or speaking up, like we talked about, that kept me in the dark about the possibilities of, or the extra possibilities of either side effects or, whatever the case is. Of course, I'm just giving this an example because it is the most pressing energy that I'm feeling. Oh, nice. Great. Perfect. Right? That leads you into this happiness because you have let go of this doubt and overly trusting in these energies here, with that codependency, letting go of the secrets, which brings you and leads you into this happiness, this new phase of health is what I'm getting. And like we talked about, being careful of who you speak your information to and where you get your wisdom from. Because I don't think necessarily everybody's going to be so supportive of what you end up choosing on how to heal whatever the case is. So surrender the doubt. Be mindful of who you tell your information to, and be extra vigilant when it comes to filtering out what is coming into you also when it comes to information. That happiness is in that alone time to surrender. I'm really getting about like a cottagey vibe, and just like a weekend getaway is what I'm feeling would be really helpful for you. Yes, amazing, my beautiful pile 2. I hope that was helpful and gave you some clarity on why something didn't work out for you right now, or why this is happening, period. I do feel that there's going to be some peace coming in. It's just right now I feel like you're in the thick of this right now, meaning that the resentment, I feel like this has already been done, of course, but you're still sitting in that feeling of fuck, is what I'm getting. And I feel for you, my love, but know that this is, you know what to do now, right? You know where to put that energy and where to put your focus, and try another way. Beautiful. Okay, I'm sending you so much love. Let me know if this resonated at all. Take care. Until next time, I love you. Ciao. Welcome, my pal 3. Okay, let's see what clarity we can get on something that didn't work out for you. So the first card that I have for the energies, or what you might be feeling, or what might have been going on, is from this deck. It's not really a deck, it's a card game I have that's called Dark Stories, and there are actual crime through history. So some of them are, not necessarily going to apply. They're much more thorough and deep. I'm not going to read the back unless it's really something sort of pops out. Either way, it may or may not resonate, so take that with a grain of salt. Either way, it's been working out really well for the last 2 groups. I don't see why it won't work out for you guys. All right, so your first card is the Clown. Despite having an entry in the Guinness Book of World Records, this clown wasn't all that funny. Oh man, what I'm getting is just... I'm getting 2 things. I'm getting that the situation just felt foolish and stupid. Like, again, just clownish. Like, what... I'm feeling my viewer. You're like, what are you thinking? Like, that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, are you not seeing the obvious? Or why is this even a conversation? It just seems so ridiculous. And for others of you, it feels that there's a possibility that you feel like this clown, that you feel not like that it wasn't funny, but like that you may not have been seen properly or understood. Maybe you didn't communicate properly. Maybe there was something that just made you feel a little less than. There's a possibility like the 80s, 90s could be significant, 40s, number 12, number 21, 1994. There's an energy too of like childhood wounding that is surfacing up when it comes to interactions or certain scenarios where unexpected wounds from the past show up in your personality that may end up making you feel or act in a foolish way or like a fool. I feel that's about an insecurity personally in self, and I think this is what the clown might be referencing to and why this may have not have worked out in the way that you want, but we'll see where it continues. Sappho. Love is a cunning weaver of fantasies and fables. Someone in some future time will think of us. What is beautiful is good, and who is good will soon be beautiful. Interesting. I'm getting this I'm getting an interesting feeling of my viewer. I feel like this is, as of right now, I'm getting the strongest feeling, or the storyline that they're bringing me to is you feeling like you were not seen. That's the energy I'm getting now, like more specifically for a general sense of you guys watching. And there was something about, it's almost like not being manipulated, but sort of having a fog over your eyes and not either able to see the people in front of you or the situation in front of you in its true clarity. I'm getting there was a lot of masks put on, and so you were basing your actions or movements or words on the energy that you were receiving, which technically was false. So then it made you feel like what's going on here? Like I don't understand. There's something about that it's like you got duped when you were just trying to, I don't want to use this word, but sort of just fit in. But there is something that I'm getting that like instinctually that and there's something about, there's a beauty within that, within your authenticity, of your innocence, of your possible naivety. There's something really beautiful about that allows you to create and manifest a life and world that you would prefer to live in. Not in a delusional sense, but in a sense of why not have fantasy in our life? If I'm the one creating this, what's wrong with having some of that? That's like, I hope that makes sense. It's sort of like just this idea of having a very whimsical view on life. And people used to just sort of like, yeah, cool, and you thought you were okay, and then they were actually laughing behind your back. Like it's that kind of energy I'm getting. And Spirit's here to remind you, like, what is beautiful is good. And that's you. You know, that essence of your true innocence of your heart and your soul, and you're wanting to connect. You know, and who is good will soon be beautiful. So however way that you are viewing yourself, meaning that you've been rejected in some way and not seeing your value, this is what this lesson is teaching you. This is what the clarity, this is what, what Spirit wants to bring clarity towards. Is your ability to be this innocent, naive, beautiful soul and not hide from the world or not feel a need to put on a mask to be liked, to be accepted. It's to step into your true authenticity. Okay, archetype, exorcist. Light attributes, freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. The shadow attributes, fear of facing your own demons. And that's what I was thinking about, that childhood wounding. You know, that's surfacing up now for you to really address it. And they're asking you to exercise this out of you, to this doubt of thinking that, like I said, you needed to put on something to be liked, to be accepted, to be recognized. When in reality, when you were trying to do all of that, it was actually preventing you from actually creating what you wanted, in a sense. But they're asking you also to not lose that whimsical, fantastical part of you. It is who you are. Do not hide it. You might need to, you might feel the need, to dilute it in certain circumstances. Know your environment, know the room you're in, of course. But when it comes to the true essence of who you are, that should not be hidden. And I feel like a lot of that may have been hidden for a while. And this is what the situation is trying to teach you. Okay. Then we have spark in reverse. That makes sense. You know, it feels like you lost a little bit of that spark. That's the point. It's like you got deflated somehow, like duped or manipulated, or just couldn't see it clearly. And that's why I keep saying, like, that spark is within you. No, I don't keep saying. They're saying that flame, that beauty, that innocence that we were talking about is within you, that spark. You know, and having it in the reversal, it's sort of been like they're bringing me to the clown's eyes, where the eyes are depicted like they're closed, you know, with those X's or the crosses. It's like I don't see myself crossing my hands. No. I have to put all of this on. You know, like that's the energy that they're showing me right now. So they're trying to remind you to exercise these beliefs, to realign the spark, and to know that you are this good, beautiful, immaculate human being. Again, not to say that everybody doesn't have their faults and their flows, right? Faults in their flows. Ultimately, Spirit wants you to recognize your value, your special, unique blueprint, your weirdness, your uniqueness. You're like my kind of peep, so there are people out there for you, you know? Okay. Oh, wow. Sadness. I get it. Like, it makes sense for you to, you know, be in this sadness when it feels like your spark has been diminished or diluted or not accepted. You know, it's like getting pulled off of that stage in those old days with those canes, or the gong show, you know, you get clicked off. It's sort of, there's this, again, there's a feeling of a performance that was put on, again, when it comes to personalities and characters, you know, and then it literally, like, the curtain opened and you're like, I'm the joke. Oh, fuck. I didn't realize that this was a thing, you know, and it's very interesting like, I'm getting multiple stories, so I'm sorry if it feels like all over the place. That's what it feels like, the sadness. It's like it came from all over the place. Spirit really wants you just to really look at yourself and address the true nature of who you are and accept that version of you. Accept who you are. It really is about letting your uniqueness shine, because that's what's being stifled and which is actually making you feel sad. Yeah, exercise that belief. Like, get rid of it. You know, to relight that spark that I know is within you that is just laying dormant right now until you see yourself, until you believe in yourself. Oh, my love. Okay. Collaboration of souls. Yep, I feel like I said, it had to do with a group of people or an environment, for one, for sure, but also once this realignment or this recognition of yourself is more integrated, more appreciated, you will find those right souls to collaborate with that will see you for you, that you don't need to put on these masks unless you want to. You know, it's a matter of choice right now, and I feel like the choice before was for you to fit in and you were not really authentically you. Yeah. And then now. Yeah. It's about, like I said, once you accept this collaboration of souls will definitely come in. The moment is here for you to take the reins of your life, to recognize the souls that are beneficial for you and the ones that are literally, as a metaphor, or literally laughing behind your back, or talking shit about you, or not really appreciating you, not seeing your value, which again, in turn, is making you doubt, making you think and reinforce this old child wounding that we talked about, that brings up this sadness. They don't want you to lose that innocence, because that is the key to your particular type of genius. Share wisdom. That's right. I think the wisdom that you gain from this experience of being now more privy to the direct maybe causes or where this root issue comes up for you when it comes to this type of not feeling valued, seen, heard. You, like I said, once you begin to truly integrate it and start to love this part of you and weave it into your being, you're able to share this new insight, new enlightenment, and again, re-sparking that passion for life and that zest for being you. That again is this trickle effect of how you meet these beautiful collaboration of souls. You allow yourself to truly be seen for your authentic self, sharing the true essence of who you are. Okay, we're going to look at these ones at the end for your guidance. Let's go into your tarot. Yeah, like Spirit also wants you to open up. Like, I know why you're closing now, and they understand this, but once this integration happens, they're reminding you, don't be afraid to share yourself and trust that you have really taken the time and the stillness to dissect what it was that was making you feel less than or not good enough, or some version of you needed to be edited in order to be liked, is what I'm getting. And sure, we all have to edit from one every once in a while, but when it comes to close dynamics, friendships, you hope that you have to do that to its very minimal, if you need to at all. Okay, first tarot. The World. The Empress. Nice. The Wheel of Fortune. Daughter of Cups, Page. Strength in reverse. Ten of Swords in reverse. I'm getting that this is the completion of this cycle, of this particular lesson, of this wound that like, it's like the final healing stage of the wound, you know, like how it comes in stages. If you were to get a cut, depending on how deep it is, you know, like even the layers of your skin is what I'm getting. It's like there's this, it's the final layer of healing for this particular wound, and you are emerging like this tree, this rooting, sprouting from your natural essence, beautiful, ready to shine and start this beautiful new wheel again, and this fortuitous a direction of self-expression, of self-acknowledgement, of self-awareness that leads you into this beautiful, like, forgivingness of yourself, forgiveness of the events in the past, forgiveness for those people's actions, allowing yourself to release the burdens of holding on to the parts of you that really want it to be, that really want to sprout, that want it to be seen. You know, you're releasing that control, in a sense of, like we talked about, this manipulation of things. Like, it could be about how we manipulated ourselves to be a certain way for us to fit in, how people manipulated us to make us feel a certain way. Whatever the case is, you're releasing that need for that ego pull, in a sense. Again, end of the cycle with the Ten of Swords, releasing the thought. Again, exercising that belief into this new direction. Woo! You guys got 3 major arcana in a row, and that strength in reverse. But like, really, so this is the prominent energy is what my point is. It's like, this is your trajectory where you're heading. It's amazing. Like, and I know right now that you are nowhere, not necessarily nowhere, but you're not in this phase of feeling. Like, because from when I started reading, like, my energy was, like, I felt it in my gut. Like, yeah, in my gut, literally. And it was like this heaviness, almost like a really heavy full belly. Like, that's the best way I can describe it, with like indigestion. Yeah, and now it feels like there is this like ease and lightness. I feel like I'm like moving in a cart of some kind, you know? It's like I can feel that momentum building. And I'm being pulled, in a sense. It's not like me necessarily needing to do the work. That's the best description I can get. It's not like me on a bicycle where I'm the one moving out of that energy. Do you get me? You know, it's like I'm being pulled now because I'm surrendering. I'm surrendering to myself, surrendering and letting go of the sadness, surrendering to allow my spark and love to shine, to find the souls that I want to collaborate now. Letting go and moving forward. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, let's see your closing off energies. Everything is as it should be. As it should be, yes. Look at this. Soul bond. Okay, so I wasn't going to bring this up energetically wise, but because you're not fully in that space yet, but Spirit's bringing it up, so I'm going to say it. This collaboration of souls is similar to the soul bond when it comes to this energy. It's like finding the right people, and it's giving me now an extra little layer of finding a right person for you. So if you are single or needing a partner in some sense, whatever way that sits in your life, it feels like you're going with this energy shift in you, with this belief change in you, with this realignment of your own personal spark, and in this trajectory of a fortuitous future. It's bringing you towards the soul bond within self, with spirit, with another, and with collaborative souls. I love that. Fuck yeah. Yeah. Follow the energy, which is what we're talking about here, right? Like that Wheel of Fortune. Follow that energy. I love this. So good. And that's what you're going to do. So use this, or take this as your confirmation, or your, I don't know, like your cherry, or your prize, your prize after the work. This is what you're going into. It feels so good. I want you to feel it too. Okay, yes. Good fortune. That's right. Fuck yeah. I'm so excited for you right now. I can't even tell you. Growth. Again, with this tree, soul bond growth, everything is as it should be. Know this, trust this. This is for your highest good. And power! Follow that energy. It's so perfect. Like, so perfect. So know that this is moving you with freaking magnetic electric speed in the direction you want once you allow this release, this fear of facing your own demons, the realization of how beautiful and good you are, how magnetic your actual spark is why people started to try to diminish you. That's the test. Can you fight for who you are? It's not needing to fight anybody. It's like fight for that expression of self, to find your space in this reality. And you are going to find those people that will be so nurturing for you. And I am so excited for you. Oh man, I don't even know what else to say. It's so good. Okay, my beautiful Pal 3, if that was helpful, please let me know. I hope it gave you clarity regardless. Give it a like if it resonated. I am sending you so much love. Until next time, this is Lotus. Ciao.